Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our virtual Mishnah Berurah share. We're here on Tainus Esther. Everybody's getting ready for Purim, and we're actually going to have quite a short share, but we are going to do Daf Lamed Vav and Aleph. So we're holding in Mishnah Berurah Chelik Vav. We'll be learning today Mi'ez Hashem Daf Lamed Vav and Aleph. We're continuing to learn Hilchos Tisha B'Av, and we pick up on the top line of Lamed Vav and Aleph in Siman Taf Kuf Nun Tes Sif Yud. Says the Mechaber, Nayhagim shaloi lishchait v'shaloi lahachin tzarchi suda ad achar chatzos. The minig is that we do not shecht, we don't slaughter meat or chicken. V'shaloi lahachin tzarchi suda, nor do we prepare the suda ad achar chatzos, until after chatzos on Tisha B'Av. So Tisha B'Av, in the morning, of course, you go to shul, you daven shachris, kinnis, some places they lay nechab, some people say echad themselves, and afterwards you go to the Beis HaKvaros. Now it's after Chatzos. You don't do any of the preparations for the Suda until after Chatzos, and the Mechaber says you also don't shecht until after Chatzos. Says the Mishnah Berurah Kat Lametes, Nayhagid Shaloi Lishchai. Says the Chavetz Chaim, why would the Mechaber tell me that you can't shecht? What are you shechting for? Says the Chavetz Chaim, Hainu lo hisan hanayhagim lechel basa balayla. The Chavetz Chaim says the reason the Mechaber tells you that you can't shecht on Tisha B'Av until after Chatzos is because some people have the minig that they do eat meat on Matzah Tisha B'Av. We don't eat meat, we've learned, until after Chatzos on the 10th day of Av. But not everybody had that minig. So if you're going to eat meat on Matzah Tisha B'Av, again, not our minig, you might be shechting on Tisha B'Av, you can't shecht until after Chatzos. Dilu an nehagim minig kosher. Those of us who keep the minig kosher not to eat meat, even on Matzah Tisha B'Av and on the 10th day of Av till after Chatzos, K'dil b'Siman Tavkuf Nun Ches, also lishchait b'shit b'Tisha B'Av af achar Chatzos. In that case, you wouldn't be allowed to shecht on Tisha B'Av even after Chatzos. However, the other preparations that you want to do for your Suda on Matzah Tainus, that you're allowed to do after Chatzos. Ken Kasav Hataz, so writes the Taz. In the Sefer Eliyarabba Mekel Bazeh, in the Sefer Eliyarabba, the more Mekel, Uvimkamat Chak, Yesh Lahakal. Adach Chatzos, Vasa Lahakal Mamakim Shanagu Iser, you're not allowed to be Mekel in this halacha in a place where they keep that prohibition. Achen Litzar Sudas Mitzvah, however, if somebody has a Sudas Mitzvah happening on Matzah Tisha B'Av, Sheyeh Balayla, Mutar Lishchait Afilu Kadim Chatzos, then you would be allowed to shecht even before Chatzos. Says the Ramah, V'holchem al hakfaros miyad kishaholchem mi beis hakneses. This is the minig that we referenced earlier, I believe in yesterday's shir, that the minig is that right after davening shachris and saying kinnis, when you leave shul, you go to the Beis HaKvaros. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Ois Katan Mem Aleph al hakvaros, you go to the Beis HaChaim. Says the Chavetz Chaim Shel Yisrael, you go to a Yiddish Beis Olam, Kedei she'yavakshu aleinu rachamim, to be mispal by the Kvarim, and that the Niftarim should be mispalel for us. They should be a Melitz Yosha for us. They should be Mavakish Rachamim from the Rabbeinu Shalom on us. V'yemein Shel Yisrael, if you're in a locale where you don't have a Beis Olam of a Yiddish Beis HaKvaros that's close by, Holchem afilu al kivrei hakum. So the Chavetz Chaim says there's even an Indian to go to a Goyish Beis HaKvaros. Loimar shanu chashuvim kimesim, because there are two benefits in going to the Beis HaKvaros on Tisha B'Av. One is the first one that the Chavetz Chaim said, which is that the Niftarim should be a Melitz Yosha for us. They should be Mavakish Rachamim on our behalf. The other one is that it's a Tainus and it's a Zman of Tshuva, and we want to go to a kever. We're going to go look at a kever and say that we're anu chashuvim kimesim. We want to say that because of our Averis, we're like Mesim. Also, we want to remember the Yom HaMisa. We want to remember the Yom HaDin. So we go look at a kever. So that you could gain even from going to a Goyish Beis HaKvaros. Now, you know what? Before we do that, let's take a look at a footnote here. Dirshu footnote number 48. The footnote here points out something very important. Even though you're going to the Beis HaKvaros, and the Chavetz Chaim says that you go to the Beis HaKvaros so that the Niftarim should be Mavakish Rachamim for you. However, you should make sure not to place your hope in the Mesim. Ladian Masha Kasav or Ramash Yesh Bekamish and Hagib Lilach ala Kvaris be'erev Rosh Hashanah. Some people have the minig to go to the Beis HaChaim on erev Rosh Hashanah. Shal Yosim Megamasai, and now we turn to the back. Shal Yosim Megamasai Neged HaMesim. You don't put your hope in the Mesim. Ach Yevakesh Me Hashem Yisbarach Sheyitin Olav Rachamim B'schus HaTzadikim Sheikh Ne'afar. When we go to the Beis Olam, we're really asking that the Rabbeinu Shalom should have Rachmanas on us in the schus of the Niftarim. Very interesting question. Normally people go to the Beis HaKvaris and they say Tehillim. They're mispaled by the kever. How about on Tisha B'Av? Are you allowed to say Tehillim on Tisha B'Av by the Kvaris? Whether or not you're allowed to recite Tehillim on Tisha B'Av when you go to the Beis HaKvaris. Kasav la'el siman tavkuf nandal sivkat zayin sheyesh na'agim loymer Tehillim b'mincha. We learned earlier that there are those who have the minute to say Tehillim every day, that on Tisha B'Av they say Tehillim by Mincha. The time and the reason that was given was Shekevin Shu Derech Bakasha, since when they say Tehillim, they're really davening, they're really being mispal, they're not learning Torah. Ein zeh b'chlal iser Talmud Torah. So there's a reason to say that should not be included in the prohibition to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av. Ach siyem, however, the Mishnah Berurah concluded earlier, Sha'anachainu, what's proper is, Kamay Shemevi Amagen Avram, Shebepoizna Loinagu Lomer Tehillim. There weren't noig to say Tehillim, even by Mincha. Ulamacharas Tisha B'Av, and on the day after Tisha B'Av, Hishlimu Gamesh Shalemesh. They made up what they missed on Tisha B'Av. The Sharetzian told us that from the Derech Chaim, it's shown that you shouldn't say Tehillim even by Mincha. Berurah ma she'avenu sham deis hapaiskim binyan zeh. Uletfi divrei HaMishnah Berurah anal kasav even Yisrael she'ein larma Tehillim gam kishaholchem lebeis hakvaris, that we should not say Tehillim if you go to the Beis Olam. V'af lemi sheholech lebeis hakvaris machmas sheyesh lo yartzeit b'Tisha B'Av. Even if somebody's going to the Beis HaKvaris on Tisha B'Av because that's when he has yartzeit for a parent, he still should not say Tehillim. However, there are those who were noig to say Tehillim, and you shouldn't object if you see somebody doing that. You're not mispal by the basic kvaris at all. You just go to see the kvaris. The Chazon Ish would just go to the Beis Olam and just look at the kvaris. I could tell you that I went many times together with my Rebbe, Reb Ruben Zol Zayin Gezund. I went many times to the Beis HaKvaris on Tisha B'Av, and he would just go to the Beis HaKvaris, walk over to the kvaris, look at the kvaris, get back in the car, and go back. Continues the Mishnah Berurah. We're in the middle of Ois Katan Mem Aleph, right by the Ois Katan Mem Ches for the Sharetzian. Says the Chavetz Chaim, V'chol zeh hainu leilech lebeis hakvaris berichuk dalet amos. Very interesting halacha. The explanation of it is beyond my pay grade. This that we go to the Beis HaKvaris, the Chavetz Chaim says we should go to the Beis HaKvaris. However, we should stay dalet amos away from the kever. Avaloi al hakvaris mamish. We shouldn't go mamish next to the kever. We should stand 4 amos away from the kvarim. Afilu kivrei Yisrael, even by Yiddish kvarim. Because what the literal translation of these words means, we have to be afraid that the chitzainim, some sort of ruach of some kind, might be mistabik, might connect itself to you, whatever this means. Kasav b'shla, the shla right, shenachan shalelelech b'knufya g'dayla. When you go to the Beis HaKvaris at Tisha B'Av, you shouldn't go with a whole gathering. You shouldn't make a whole trip to the Beis HaKvaris. Kein zeh el tiul, because then it becomes a tiul. It becomes going out for a walk. It becomes a pleasure trip. V'gam maybe lidei sichas chulin, and then everybody starts schmoozing, and they talk about who knows what. Or masichin night on me'avelus, and the Mesiach das from the avelus of Tisha B'Av. If you go to the Beis HaKvaris alone or with one other person, okay, but you go with a group, everybody starts to schmooze, they talk about other things, they forget about Tisha B'Av. Rak yelech yichidi says you should go alone, or maybe with one other person. Shelo yifseku miladaber b'inyan hachurban, so that you don't stop discussing the topic of Tisha B'Av, Avelus over the Churban, or Lehisar Ba'avelus. Venira Oid, and the Chavetz Chaim says it seems furthermore, he says that if by going to the Beis HaKvaris you're going to have to put on shoes. We learned earlier that you're not allowed to wear shoes, but if you have to walk somewhere with his refesh and tit, if you have to walk in the mud, you could put on a shoe. Now the Chavetz Chaim says, if going to the Beis HaChaim is going to make you put on shoes, then Tov Yoser Shelo Yelech Klal, it would be better that you should not go at all. By the way, this concept that you should stay Dalan Amos away from the kever is not only something that's negeah to Tisha B'Av, it's negeah to all times that you go to the Beis HaKvaris. There's an Ari, and I think there's a footnote here. If you want to look at it, there's footnote number 49, who talks about this. It comes from an Ari that says that it could be detrimental to be within 4 amos of a kever. The place can talk about whether it's negay all the time. Maybe whenever you go, you shouldn't go within 4 amos of the kvarim. However, the minig seems to be that people do go within 4 amos of the kever. Finally, concludes the Ramav, Im'ira meis b'Tisha B'Av, if somebody passes away on Tisha B'Av and there's a levaya nevachlei aleinu, ein oimrim tziduk hadin, you do not recite tziduk hadin. And the Mishnah Berurah says, why? The ikri mayed, because like we've seen already several times before, the pasuk in Eicha calls Tisha B'Av a mayed, kara alai mayed. So there's a shtickle, a concept of Yom Tov, because we know that Mirz Hashem one day Tisha B'Av will be nepach l'sasayin l'simcha, and it will be a Yom Tov. So there always is a concept of mayed. That's why we don't say tachdin, we don't say lam natzeach, and we also do not say tziduk hadin. Everybody should have a wonderful, wonderful Freilich in Purim. This year there is no share on Purim. Usually I look forward to saying share on Purim in my Shtreimel, but this year there is no share on Purim. So everyone should have a Freilich of Purim. We should be Zeicha Tikimu V'Kiblu HaYehudim. We should have a true Kabbalas HaTorah. We should learn how to recognize Yad Hashem even in the Nistar. And the Rebbeinu Shalom should bring us Taka to Sasayin and Simcha. And we should be Zeicha to the Bias Gal Tzedek B'Meher V'Yameinu. Be well.